Landorus Therian is a staple in the OU tier, and for good reason. Today's battle is against Cody from the Pokemon Battle Hub Discord server, and then Reese is a little bonus battle afterwards. My name is Just Weavile, and welcome to my Pokemon Wi-Fi battle series, where we try to bring out the potential of every Pokemon there is. So if that's your cup of tea, why not subscribe so you don't miss out? Let's get started. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Cody. So they're going to lead off with Corviknight. As I led off with my Gallade, I figured Gallade does pretty well against the team, except from the Dragapults, obviously, which we can Terra Dark knock off. I know Sacred Sword 2 shots, but I'm not going to risk it, obviously, for obvious reasons. Expecting a Brave Bird here, so I want to go out into probably Tyranitar. But if they Body Press instead, then that's going to be a bit of a problem, so we don't want to go into the Body Press. And there is always the chance they switch into Dragapult as well. I think our best bet is going to be just going into Pyro here. Pyro matches up really well against Corviknight, obviously. And we can do some stuff with Fire Blast and stuff like that. So let's go into Pyro now. There we go. Unnerve comes through. As they go for a U-turn, which is going to do no damage, obviously, to my Pyro. Resisted and all that. But what are they going to go into to take on Pyro? Is it going to be the Minior? Maybe. Minior's so cool to see as well. I gotta say, I really like Cody's team. So they're going to go into Dragapults. Nicely done. We can probably expect a U-turn here, predicting us to switch into Primarina, but I'm going to have to go into Primarina anyway, because Primarina doesn't get burned. If they do Will-O-Wisp predicting the Tyranitar, for example, but they're probably going to U-turn, like I said. So we'll go into Super Saiyan Blue, the Primarina. They go for a Surf, so that's actually really good. They were probably expecting the T-Tar to come in there. Great for us, as now we can go for a Flip Turn or a Psychic Noise. I'm leaning towards... If they expect a Moonblast, they would go into probably the Vileplume. I think I'm going to go for a Flip Turn here. They do withdraw the Dragapults. If we see a Poliwrath, sorry, they go into Vileplume. So Vileplume, the Gourmet, comes in nice and shiny. Gotta love it. We go for a Flip Turn. That's going to take us right out of there. Hopefully no Effect Spore. We got Effect Spore Paralyzed, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're not exactly the fastest Pokemon on the field anyway. I think everything on their team outspeeds my Primarina. So, you know, it's not the end of the world, you know. So what we can do now is we actually have a really good opportunity to go into Gallade here. Gallade can definitely do some stuff with Psycho Cut, and we may even force a Terra. So if they Terra Fairy, we at least know the Terra Fairy, and we can go for something else. So they're probably going to switch into Corviknight if I had to guess. So I'm tempted to go for a knockoff or a Sacred Sword. I think I'm going to go for the knockoff first. They do withdraw the Vileplume. If we see a Dragapult switch here, that's going to be crazy. Corviknight comes in though, that's fine. Corviknight getting knocked off is going to be great, as it's probably a Rocky Helmet anyway. So knockoff comes through. It does a nice solid chunk of damage. Getting that Rocky Helmet as well, which is awesome. Now they're probably going to go for another U-turn here. Predicting us to switch out. I want to stay in this thing. The only thing that we're really doing with Gallade today is taking this thing out. So I want to do a lot of damage to it with Sacred Sword, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Sacred Sword comes through. Oh, wow. It wasn't even a crit, and it KO'd the Corviknight from there. That's an insane damage output from Gallade right there. Insane damage output from Gallade right there, which is awesome to see. All right, Dragapult, the once well-trained, comes in. Nice and shiny. So, do we switch out here? Of course we switch out here. We go into Primarina every single time. We're not trying to mess around with no Dragapult, that's for sure. So they actually hard switch the Dragapult themselves and go into Vileplume the Gourmet once again. Interesting choice, as we went for a switch out into Primarina. So this is a great switch for Cody right here. He's done a really good job there. Let's see how this plays out though, because we do have the Psychic Noise, which I'm tempted to go for. I'm really tempted to go for, but I kind of want to just go for a Flip Turn, you know, get on out of there, all that stuff. So let's see what we can do. So from Psychic Noise would stop Strength Sap, I think. So let's go for a Psychic Noise here. They go for a Sludge Bomb. It's going to sting a little bit. Nothing too drastic. It does over half. That's fine. Psychic Noise comes through. That's going to do over half to the Vileplume, and it stops them from healing as well. So now we can freely switch into something else to take a hit, which we don't really have much to take a hit, but we do have a Ferretress, we do have Tyranitar, Landorus. I think Tyranitar is going to be the go-to option here. So because they can't go for Giga Drain because it's a healing move, like Psychic Noise blocks that. So they have to go for a Sludge Bomb. So I think T-Tar is the best option. So we withdraw our Primarina. We'll save it for later, especially if that Poliwrath gets all cocky on us. It'll be a good answer to that. So Tyranitar comes in. They can only go for Sludge Bomb, really, I think. We get the Sand Up, which is going to whittle away at them. And they go for a Sludge Bomb, which is going to bounce right off us, do no damage. It's resisted and it's in the Sandstorm, where our special defense is boosted, being a rock type. So that's awesome. So they're no longer prevented from healing, but we should outspeed here. So let's go for a knockoff. Knockoff comes through. We do outspeed. Valplume's dead. No Effect Spore, which is great. Absolutely fantastic. There's no Effect Spore. And we knock off their leftovers, of course, which is always good to know. They probably go Poliwrath here. Or Mini... No, they won't go Minior. They don't necessarily know Abandon either, so I think Poliwrath is the safest bet. So they go Poliwrath, nice and shiny. We simply go for a switch here. We obviously switch here. What into, though? That's the real question. If we assume they're going to go for a fighting type move, we should go into Primarina or Gallade. If we assume they could also go for a water type move, being still super effective against Tyranitar, we shouldn't go Landorus. Although the Intimidate would be nice. I say they go for a Bulk Up, so we go for a Gallade switch. I think they go for a Bulk Up, so we go for a Gallade switch. That's the road I want to take right now. So Paladin comes in, like so. They do go for a Bulk Up. Now, the great thing about this is they're going to get a defense boost, which is obviously going to nullify Psycho Cut's power a little bit. So I think Sacred Sword is the best option to go for, because Sacred Sword, if you didn't know, bypasses defense boost from stat boosting moves, like Iron Defense and stuff. It bypasses those. It completely ignores them. So we just go for a Sacred Sword here, and that should still do a lot of damage. So they're going to Terror. So are they going to Terror something to resist the Psycho Cut? Like Terror Steel, maybe? Terror Fire. Okay, Terror Fire. So we're still doing neutral damage, which we were doing anyway. So they Terror Fire. Let's see how much damage Sacred Sword does. So Sacred Sword comes through. Oh, wow. That's some serious damage right there. As they go for a Liquidation and take us out. So Gallade goes down, but that did some serious damage. Gallade with Sharpness is just a ridiculous monster. It's a ridiculous monster, let's be real. So Poliwrath does take some Sandstorm damage, which is awesome. What we can now do is we can go into Pyro and get that Hyper Voice off to get that boost. I think that's the way to go forward. That's the way to go forward. So Nala's going to come in, the Pyro. And we'll go for a Hyper Voice to take this thing out. Then we go for a Trailblaze, right? Trailblaze, Hyper Voice, Trailblaze, Hyper Voice. I think either way, I think we go for a Trailblaze just to get the KO. And that way at least we threaten... We didn't get the KO. 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 They go for a Drain Punch that's going to KO us. I messed up. I really thought Trailblaze would KO from there. You know what I mean? Like, I really thought Trailblaze would KO, so I should have gone for a Hyper Voice there, but that's a misplay on my behalf. But you know what? Misplays happen. It is what it is. We can now go into Landorus, no problem, and just spam Earthquake at this point. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Going to go Landorus, get the Intimidate off, which is all well and good. And then we just go for an Earthquake and take out this Poliwrath. And if they switch out into Minior here or something, so be it. It's not the end of the world, because Landorus is going to be the key to winning against this Minior. So Earthquake comes through, even at +1 defense. You're not taking that. It's a Landorus's Earthquake. So we may have lost Pyro, but it's fine. We have the Landorosu. Minior comes in. Nice and shiny as well. I wonder which one that is. It's the red one. Okay, the team preview kind of gave it away. Anyway, Minior's shield down activates. They're probably going to go for a Shell Smash here. In which case, do we go for a Tyranitar switch? Or do we go for a... I think we go for a Feretris switch here. I think Feretris is the way to go. So I'm going to go Feretris now. Like so. Alcatraz comes in. There we go. They go for a Shell Smash, but they're still in their shield down form, so we don't have to worry too much about this. I don't think. So all we have to do, really, is live a hit for a start. Then we go for a Volt Switch here. Like so, because they're not White Herb, so they're probably Focus Sash. So let's go for a Volt Switch. They go for a Power Gem, proving their special. That's going to do a lot of damage to us. It won't KO us, as we go for a Volt Switch, and that's going to do nearly half. Not enough damage to put them into the shields down, though, which is good to know. And now this is going to be really important. Tyranitar is going to have to come in here. Not Tyranitar. The Landorus is going to have to come in here. I know we don't get the Intimidate if they're special. Then the Intimidate is going to mean nothing. we're going to Terra Blast Water right now. And because we're Scarf, we're still not going to outspeed Minior, but we might do because it's in its Shield's down form. I can't remember whether Shield's down form has high speed or not. I don't think it does though. So we might outspeed here. So we Terastallize into a water type. It's all coming down to Landorus at this point, whether it can stop this Minior or not. So let's go for it. Let's go for it. Let's go for the Terra Water. Let's go for the Terra Water, and then we go for a Terra Blast. We are Scarf. I think we outspeed his Shield's up one. We don't, but the Power Gem's going to come through, and luckily, we do live because it is only in its Shield's up form. So it doesn't have the offensive capabilities of the Shield's down form. However, it does have the defensive capabilities, but they are not enough to take a Terra Blast Water from the Landorus, which is absolutely fantastic for us. This is great as well because it means that Landorus can stand up to the Weavile easier. But the Dragapult, on the other hand, is another story. So we know this thing has Surf. That's all we know. So let's sack off Forretress at this point and then bring Primarina in and go for a solid Moonblast. And I think we may have this game. So Alcatraz comes in like so. We let it go down to whatever they want to go for. Shadow Ball Surf. Surf comes through. Boom. Alcatraz goes down. And now we definitely want to go into... Primarina here. Primarina is Assault Vest, so it can take special hits for days. But it is paralyzed, which is the problem we've got. So let's go for a Moonblast now, just to get some damage off on the Dragapults. They go for a Shadow Ball, but they aren't Choice Specs because they've changed up moves, so this won't KO us, which is great. But we couldn't move because we were fully paralyzed, which is very disappointing. Very disappointing for us. So we go for another Moonblast here on the off chance we live, but we don't live, obviously. I don't think we do anyway. No, we don't live, which is unfortunate. So Primarina goes down, like so. And now we just simply go into T-Tar. We go into T-Tar and we knock off. We go into T-Tar, we knock off. And then we bring Landorus in and we spam Earthquake, pretty much. So T-Tar comes in, we get the Sandstream up, which is awesome. We just go for a knockoff here. Because even if the Weavile comes in hard, it's still going to take a buttload of damage from the knockoff. So they go for a Surf. They decide to stay in and let the Dragapult go down. Because Surf is not going to take out my Tyranitar. Knockoff, however, will take out the Dragapult unless it was sashed, but they weren't. And even if they were sashed, the Sandstream would have taken them out anyway, so that's awesome. So with Dragapult down, we've just got Weavile. Can Weavile make an epic comeback? That's the real question. So Blake the Sleepy comes in, not nice and shiny, gross and shiny. I don't like shiny Weavile. We have to go for another knockoff here, just to see. They go for a triple Axle, which is really risky. But it does hit 3 times, telling me they might be banded for a start. And also telling me, because they might be banded, that might be why they went for that. Let's go Landorus and get the Intimidate off. I think we've won this. So Landorus comes in, we get the Intimidate off, which is all well and good. We just go for an Earthquake. There's no real reason not to. So Earthquake comes through. Does take out the Weavile, which is fantastic. And that was a really good close game with Cody right there. So GG Cody, I really enjoyed that one. G freaking G. And the battle begins. Good luck, have fun, Reese. So they're going to lead off with the Ambi-Bombers. I led off with my Landorus Therian. Get that Intimidate off, which is going to be really nice. So Intimidate comes through, gets that attack lowered. Their Fake Out's not going to sting nearly as much. And now we go for a U-turn, just to get some damage off. They go for a Fake Out. That's going to sting a little bit, even after the Intimidate is still a Amber Bomb, which is pretty powerful. That's fine. So now I'm leaning towards going for a U-turn. I think they do switch out. So let's go for a U-turn here. They are going to stay in. They probably didn't think we would be Scarf Landorus, which is fair enough. And we switch out Landorus Therian right now. We can still use Landorus for later on the Amber Bomb, on the Reverend Room. It's going to be really good. Ceruledge too. Cleavor to an extent. So now let's go into Forretress. Forretress seems like a good option. They're probably going to go for a U-turn anyway, which is fine. They actually go for a knockoff, which is going to do no damage at all, knocking off our heavy duty boots. And now we can go for a Stealth Rocks, which is going to be really useful for us because they have a bunch of Pokemon like Vikavolt, like Ceruledge, and like Cleavor that are weak to the Stealth Rocks, which is great. So they go for a U-turn. No damage, of course. Pitiful damage on a Forretress. Being the physically defensive monster that it is. And they're going to go into Teruko, which is going to be the Ceruledge. Nice and shiny as well. Gotta love it. We get them Stealth Rocks up. That's fine. It's going to be great for us. Now, the real question is, do they go for a Swords Dance here, predicting a switch? I think they do. I think our best Pokemon switching is Pyro, but it can't do anything in return. So, knowing they're probably going to go for a Swords Dance, I'm going to make a risky play. I'm going to go for a Volt Switch. They do go for a Swords Dance. Now, the Volt Switch is going to break the Focus Sash that they might have, which is why I wanted to go for it, because Ceruledge, you don't let it set up, that's for sure. So, we go for a Volt Switch, break that potential Focus Sash, which is fantastic. And now we go into our Landorus once again and get the Intimidate off, which is going to be great. They know we're Scarf Landorus as well because we have to the Amphi-Bomb. So Great Strike gets the Intimidate off, which is fantastic. And then we just go for an Earthquake. Do we go for an Earthquake? We just go for an Earthquake. They're going to have to Terra here. And if they Terra, it's fine because at least we're still going to break the Sash. They withdraw. They straight up withdraw, which is awesome. So that means they're going to go Vikavolt, right? Sharp Shot. Who's that? That is the Vikavolt. Nice and shiny as well. I like shiny Vikavolt. It's a really good shiny. So, Stealth Rocks do dig in. Earthquake's not going to affect because that Levitate ability, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. At least we don't have to deal with Ceruledge. So now, I think our best bet... Ooh, that's a tough one. They're not going to go for an electric type move, that's for sure. But they know we have to switch out, so they might. I think our best bet is going to be going into Pyro here. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's a bit of a risky one. But if they go for an Energy Ball instead of a Bug Buzz or a Thunderbolt, then we're going to be all right. So let's go Pyro now. Unnerve's going to make it so they can't eat the berries if they have one. And they're going to Terrastalize. Ooh. Terra what, though? Terra what? Terra what? They are going to Terra into a Water type, which is terrifying. So let's see what they do here. Are they going to go for a Terra Blast? Do they go for an Agility? Oh, that's a scary Vikavolt right there. That's a scary Vikavolt right there, which is unfortunate. So, if we assume they're going to go for a Terra Blast here, we should go for our own Terra Blast, right? We should go for a Trailblaze first, and then a Terra Blast. I think that's what we should do. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to Terrastalize ourselves into a Grass type, which is really risky, because they could switch up moves and go for a Bug Buzz, predicting this. Don't think they will, though. So we Terra Grass. This means we can definitely take a Terra Blast from this thing. If it has Terra Blast, which I'm assuming it will do. If it's an Agility set. They go for the Bug Buzz. No! Pyro goes down. Oh, no. They predicted the Terra Grass. And they went for the Bug Buzz, which is really unfortunate for us. So that is super unfortunate, in fact. So unfortunate. And then they go for... Oh, they have got a Throat Spray as well. That is so unfortunate for us. So now we're in a bit of a pickle. Like just a bit. Just a bit of a pickle. So let's go into our Primarina. And you might be thinking, why are you going Primarina? It's Assault Vest. I know it can take a Thunderbolt from this thing. It can definitely take a Thunderbolt, and we might lower the special attack with Moonblast, and that's what I'm kind of going for here. So they go for a T-Bolt. We should be able to take one of those. We do, barely. We go for a Moonblast. That should do a lot of damage. Takes it cleanly out, which is awesome. So Sharp Shot goes down to a Moonblast from the Primarina. Whew. Avoided that. Dodged the bullet there, but big time dodged the bullet there. So that Vikavolt is down for the count, but it took out Pyro in the process. Monkey comes in. Like so. It's going to get some Stealth Rock chip, which is great. Now, do we let Primarina go down here, or do we switch out? I'm leaning towards just going into Forretress, because they are going to go for a Fake Out, no doubt. So we'll go into Forretress, and then we'll go for a Volt Switch, and kind of go from there. So there we go. They go for a Fake Out, which is fine. They don't have a Ground type, which is good to know. So I can safely go for a Volt Switch here. No problem. They go for another Knockoff. That's also fine. Doubly fine. Volt Switch comes through. Does no damage, obviously. I could have took it out of a Body Press, but I figured they would go into Ceruledge there, and I did not want to give that Ceruledge a free switch in. At all. So now that they've Terra'd and they've lost their Terra, we're in a much better position with Landorus. Landorus does wonders against their team. Now that they can't Terra Flying the River Room or Terra Water, etc, etc, etc. So, this type, we're going to go for a U-turn because it will take out the Ambipom, and they're probably going to switch out. And if they did switch out there, which they actually haven't, we get a crit. I don't think the crit mattered because it's a Landorus. Ambipom goes down, which is fantastic. And it's looking like the Superior is the main thing that stops Landorus from doing its thing here, which we lost Pyro for, which is unfortunate. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go into our Gallade. Now, the Ceruledge is weakened enough to where Gallade's knockoff should KO. And everything else on the team goes down. The only thing we've got to worry about is the Cleavor. X's or actually KO's Gallade from here, I believe. So we do have to worry about that, which is unfortunate. Teruko comes in, which is going to be the Ceruledge. We know this thing can't terrestrialize. So it's going to have to stay weak to knockoff. We should outspeed here. Let's go for a knockoff. If we don't outspeed, it's because I'm adamant I'm an idiot. But the chances are they're going to go for a Shadow Sneak, which they do. That's going to do a lot of damage to us, but it won't KO us as we go for a knockoff. And boom. So we bluffed the speed there because obviously Gallade normally outspeeds Ceruledge, I believe. But we're not jolly. We're adamant on this Gallade because of the agility, which is why I was kind of bluffing there. But you know what? It worked out, so I'm not even sorry. All right, Damon comes in. That's going to be the Superior, right? Yeah, the Superior comes in. I figured Superior would come in to try and finish us off here, which it's going to have to do. But do we want to let Gallade go down here? Ceruledge is down for the count. We don't really need Gallade for anything else. So let's go for a Sacred Sword just in case it wants to self a substitute. But they do Leaf Storm straight up, which is going to take us out, of course. Unfortunately. So Superior does take out Gallade there and gets a nice special attack boost in the process. And now, what do we do here? So I'm leaning towards Landorus, U-turn into Primarina, or I'm leaning into... I'm going to go for Retris first and foremost to Body Press. I'm going to go for Retris to Body Press here, just because it'll get some nice damage off, and they can't tear it into a Fire type, so we know they can't KO us with one hit. So they get that boost again with the Leaf Storm. We go for a Body Press that's going to sting quite a bit. Not enough to get the KO. We'll go for another Body Press just in case they miss, but they don't miss. And Fretris goes down to their third Leaf Storm, which takes them up to +6, which is obviously very terrifying here. Obviously very terrifying here, but it's fine. We have the Landorus in the back. So what we do now is we go T-Tar for a very good reason. That's to get Sandstorm up, because we want as much chip damage off on this thing as possible. So we get the Sandstream up. We then sack off Primarina like so. So Primarina, come on in. Get sacked off too. There is always the chance that they miss the Leaf Storm as well. They go for a Giga Drain instead, which is fine. So Giga Drain, I'm glad they didn't go for the Giga Drain on the T-Tar there. It's unfortunately going to recover some of their HP. But it's not the end of the world, because the Sandstorm's going to take away that HP back. So the Sandstorm's going to take away that HP. Takes them down to yellow, which is really important here. So we go Landorus. We are Scarfed, so we definitely should outspeed here. We do get the Intimidate off, which boosts their attack, but it doesn't matter because I'm pretty confident this thing won't have a physical attack. We go for a U-turn here and hope that it can KO the Superior. It does KO the Superior, which is fantastic. So that's panic averted. Their second sweeper after Vikavolt gone. So Superior goes down. We bring in T-Tar here. T-Tar can definitely take on the Revavroom, but not necessarily the Cleavor. So T-Tar comes in like so, looking amazing. And now they kind of have to bring in Cleavor, right? Gear Shift comes in. That's the Revavroom, right? Yeah, the Revavroom comes in, which is interesting. So Stones Dig into it. It has got the Air Balloon, which is pretty awesome. If they go for a Shift Gear here, we're kind of boned. Let's go for a knockoff because we can't let them do that. They do go for a Shift Gear, which means they're going to get a Speed Sharply Raised and an Attack Raise as well, which is bad. So we go for a knockoff. That is going to KO the Revavroom. Okay, T-Tar, we will take that. Choice Banded T-Tar is so powerful, by the way. Like, you should really run it Choice Banded if you want to, like, get some serious power out of your T-Tar. You know when T-Tar's your favorite mono, you just want to see it demolishing things? This is the right set to go for. So let's go for a knockoff again. We're probably going to go down to an X-Scissor, but you know what? It's fine. They go for an agility. They go for an agility so they can outspeed the Landorus. But unfortunately, knockoff is going to be able to do the job, and that is going to be the game. So GG Reese, that was a pretty fun one. T-Tar kind of popped off at the end there. Landorus did really well as well, taking out that Superior and stuff. Really good game, GG Reese.